so fast. But I have to put a little.
You're the one that fucking picked that lingo. I don't tell you.
It's all good. It's your comfortable chair.
Okay, so starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, to From the Bench. As always, I'm your host, Eric, and with me is my co-host, Trevor.
We're shaking, everybody.
We are back with another episode. Did we miss last week? I can't remember. No, we were on last week. This one's just late. That's all it is.
Week before. Yeah.
So we're good. We got this figured out. We're gonna get into a couple things. We're gonna talk about the NHL because it's back. Not so much. I guess it is a little bit back, but they kind of figured out tentatively when they're gonna start opening up again. What they're gonna do for the division. So we're gonna talk about that here in a second. Then we're gonna talk about a couple of games from last week. We got the Chargers and Patriots game. I don't want to talk about it, but we're going to. We got a couple other things. The Jets, being the Jets on that last play, really, really trying to tank as hard as they can for that Trevor Lawrence draft pick, number 1 overall. The Eagles, they bench Carson Wentz, so we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about Tua and the Dolphins and how much of a leash does that guy get? And then, as always, everyone's favorite part of the show, it's the NFL predictions for this week. So
the picks. I'm already 0 for 1 here this week, but that's life.
Hey, it happens. I'm 1-0, so that's where we start. The NHL, they come out, they say, look, we're gonna start for January 13th, Trevor?
Yes.
See, look, I'm just trying to making sure Trevor's involved here, people. So we have the league starting for January 13th. They're going to look at switching up the divisions. So that's the big thing. I don't know. I know Trevor's not a super big fan of it, depending on what division it is. But as of right now, it would be something like this. You'd have Boston, Buffalo, New Jersey, the Islanders, Rangers, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Washington. And then you'd have Carolina, Columbus, Detroit, Chicago, Florida, Minnesota, Nashville, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is going to run away with that division.
They're going to kill it.
Oh, my God. There's some bad teams in there. Then you have Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, Dallas, LA, San Jose, St. Louis, and the Knights. So that one's kind of a mixture of the Central and the Pacific. And then you have an all-Canadians team. Because they're talking about they want to limit travel, except for when it comes to Canada, when literally they're flying from Vancouver, British Columbia, all the way over to Montreal.
Because they haven't opened the borders, bitches.
Yeah, and it's probably easier.
And who knows when that's going to happen. So
yeah. So what do you think about the divisions, Trevor? I know Trevor talked before he came on here. Wasn't super happy to know that the Leafs are going to have to play the Montreal Canadiens 10 times next year.
10 freaking times. I don't want to see I don't want to see Carey Price 10 times.
He's worried about
if he steals half those games, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna get emotional. Okay, I just see. There's another thing. I have to watch Toronto play Ottawa 10 freaking times. Not that Ottawa hasn't got better. I think they've improved some, and they'll be a lot better. Everybody talks about Murray and that. They got Grantstrom. Is it Grunt? No, it's Grantstrom.
Yeah.
No, the defenseman. Is it Eric Cabransk?
No, you mean Edmondson? Joel Edmondson?
No. He's from Montreal. Shit. Cabranskam. The Florida. Remember, he was like the third overall pick.
Cabranson, yeah.
So okay, I was close. Cabranson. Sorry, but anyways, I like that was overrated. Like they got some experienced guys. That aren't I wouldn't call them studs, but you know what I mean? They got some really good players, but nobody too exciting. And we all know they're going to be really young at forward. And, they got their stud back there. And what the heck's his name? Shabbat. There we go. Look at that. I'm hauling the names out tonight. It's going to be a good pod, boy. I'm honored. I am on it.
Just minus Goodbranson, where he took 7 minutes. I wasn't paying attention to when he was talking about Goodbranson. I was looking at my phone for something. And all of a sudden he's talking about. I'm like, what is he coming up with Goodbranson about? Last time I left him, he was talking about Montreal.
What a steal of a move for them.
It was.
What a steal of a move for them. Sorry, I just hit my thingamabobber. But anyway, so they're much improved. Everybody knows they're young at forward and a little bit of defense. But I still think they're going to, this is the second year, I think, Smith as their coach.
Yeah.
DJ Smith. So, and he did a pretty good job last year. The guys played hard for him. So
Well,
we'll see. They're going to build on what they're not going to, I don't think they're going to be a doormat by any means,
no.
but they're not the cream of the crop. Like in this division, if Ottawa has a really good year, they're not the last team in the division to me, like, right?
They're going to have a really hard year this year because everyone else, there's so much talent in all the Canadian teams. You literally have to go see against Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and John Tavares, 10 times
Connor
a year.
McDavid and Draisaitl.
Connor McDavid, wow. Draisaitl. You have
that's disgusting.
Pedersen and Horvat and
it's not good.
Brock Besser. Then you also have Calgary, where you're talking about, Johnny Ham and Cheese. You're talking about Sean Monahan.
Yeah.
Then you're talking about Winnipeg with Patrick Laine, and you go down through the list, and then Montreal, I guess, is the only break they get when it comes against firepower. But Montreal is going to be a team where
Montreal won the everybody's saying they won the offseason. They should be much improved. We'll see. As me and Eric know, when you add a lot of new pieces, it takes time to gel. It's a shortened season. Yeah. And if you go 3-7 or 2-7 out of the gates, that could be the end of you. So, it's very important to be good out of the gates. We all know when the NHL always starts, like in October when it normally starts, goal scoring's up right away. It takes the goalies, I find, a couple weeks to get their shit together, you know what I mean? Yeah. Especially, I think, this time because there's going to be no exhibition games. No. So there should be goal scoring, which I think, come on.
I think they said there's going to be some. Right there's going to be a little bit of a preseason. I don't know whether it's going to be like. Maybe they do.
I've heard it both ways, so I'm really confused. But I'm sure they'll let us know here. Certainly, I'm just excited for the expectation that there's actually going to be hockey games played. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I know you must be too.
I am, and like I said, it's going to be different to see the different divisions. I understand why they're doing it, right? They're just trying to do like a mini bubble situation.
For sure.
Rather than
I just hope they don't
keep
doing it. Yeah, I just hope this doesn't. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I just whatever.
Yeah, and I guess the only thing they can say, in a hockey team, if you lose a couple guys, that's a huge deal compared to a football team where if you lose 4 guys or 5 guys, it's not the end of the world. It's not great, obviously. And it's a lot harder to reschedule games when you're talking, 3 games a week rather than, the 1 a week that, that without travel when it comes to football,
exactly.
Right? So it gives you a lot of a bigger thing. I think the NBA is just going wide open, though. I think that's their whole thing.
Who knows with the NBA?
They don't know. Nobody knows. They're still supposed to be starting preseason tonight, though. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited. Like I said, just want to see some hockey. World Juniors, the Canadian team just got announced today. We had a couple Wildcats and former Moncton Wildcat with Jordan Spence making the team, along with Jacob Pelche, who now plays for Val d'Or.
Former captain. Stud.
He's
still
stud. He's a beaut. But he made the team too, which both of them are well deserving of that. I told Trevor about Jordan Spence a couple years ago, 2 years ago, I guess 3 years ago now. Before Trevor ever watched him, Trevor was out west, and I said,
laid eyes on him.
I said, look, there's this kid. You're gonna love him for the Wildcats.
You're probably gonna like him a lot. Says.
I was like, he's an absolute beaut. And Trevor's like, you think? And I'm like, oh, I know. I'm telling you right now. So, anyways, it was pretty good to see those guys make it. Colorado, just out there, they got 3 guys making the Team Canada. They got Alex Newhook, Justin Barron, and then Bowen Byram. So just 3 absolute studs making that team. So looking good for the Colorado Avalanche and their whole drafting process and everything else that goes along with the Colorado Avalanche. So let's go Avs. So is there anything else you want to talk about when it comes to hockey, Trevor? I said obviously just pumped just to see some hockey get played again.
No, I think we're just I did want to say this to you though. In that all Canadian division, man, the goaltending is going to be unreal.
Yeah.
Who do you think the worst goalie is in that division?
The one for Ottawa. Ottawa's goalie's the worst.
You think Murray's the worst?
Yeah.
I almost think it. Yeah.
Yeah, Freddie. Freddie's better.
Yeah.
Carey Price is better.
For sure.
Hellebuck just won the Vezina, so he's better.
Holtby.
Holtby/Demko.
Even though he's not a stud anymore, he's still pretty good.
Yeah, Markstrom for Calgary. I mean? And who's Edmonton? Yeah. Edmonton might be the worst. Do they still have Mike Smith?
They got Smith and then
Koskinen.
But really it's Koskinen.
Oh yeah, no,
So,
Edmonton's got the worst goalie. For some reason, I thought they
So-
got somebody else over the offseason, but they didn't. So yeah, no,
So-
Edmonton's definitely got the worst, and then it's Ottawa. So, yeah, it'd be pretty good. Like I said, we'll as we get closer to the draft, we'll talk about it some more, or
For
the
sure.
draft at the start of the season, we'll talk about it some more and go from there. So getting on to football, we just like I said, we want to talk about some hockey first. First game we'll leave our game till the end. The
Sure.
Raiders, they get down. The Jets look like they're gonna pull the upset over them. They get it, they make them fumble, they run it a couple plays. So the Raiders are getting it back with like 20 seconds left or whatever it is. And there's like 12 seconds left or whatever it is, and they're like on their own 40 or 50 or whatever it was. Like there was it was a Hail Mary, if anything. And what does first Carr misses the first pass, which misses Aguilar, I believe it was, in the end zone. He beat two guys. He overthrows him. It is what it is. And then the next, like 2 plays later, they run an all-out like 8-man, your typical like engage 8 on Madden. That's like they just ran it all 8 guys. The corner bites on the double move for some stupid reason. Like the only hope they have is that they beat you deep, and you bite on the underneath, which whatever.
Which is mind-boggling.
Yeah, mind-boggling.
Just like the
right.
call.
Yeah, and
Jesus
so Greg
Christ.
Williams just gets told like you're an idiot. He gets the boot. The Raiders win. I'm sure the owners went to Greg Williams, were like, "You're fired, but here's a bag of money, and thank you for that call, so we can get Trevor Lawrence here coming in the next couple months." And yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what your thoughts on that whole call was, Trevor. I understand, like that's just who Greg Williams is. Like he
is. He's always been more aggressive, and he loves the blitz.
And he blitzes, especially in those situations. Like it's nothing new, but it's just like that's inexcusable for a team to have that kind of happen.
Fun fact about Greg Williams: he was on an 0-16 team before and was the defensive coordinator. Can you guess who that team is?
The Cleveland Browns.
You fucking betcha. So that's unfortunate. The guys are playing hard. Like you said, like how does you just can't let them get 7, and you bite on. It doesn't even make sense to me. You bite on it. You should not let them get over top behind you. You do that, you get burned because Carr.
Yeah, like the main call there is Henry Ruggs. So he finally made a play. Good to see
Since
the 10th
week
overall.
1?
Yeah, since whenever.
Well, they don't play him enough. He's on the sideline.
He
seems like all the time. So
is what it is.
What's his name took a spot? You just mentioned him.
Nelson
yes,
Aguilar.
Sir.
Yeah, it's terrible. Trevor, can you pull your mic away from your thing? You're rubbing.
Am I?
Yeah. There you go.
Better.
Yeah.
Better.
You're rubbing on your shirt like when you're moving. So.
Was I?
Yeah, like you're just talking, but it's like.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Just throwing Eric the old wrench. Just hauling out the old wrench. Hey?
Yeah.
Just,
Trevor gets to go to sleep after this, and then I get to edit for a couple hours. So.
Oh, for sure. I gotta work tomorrow. Yeah. Just looking forward to that, boy. On a Saturday.
On a Saturday. Making that dough.
Thought I gave that shit up when I left the West.
Hey, at least you're not doing like 28 days straight anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, there you go.
So let's get back on topic here. So what were you asking me there, homie?
Yeah, so like I don't know what you do. The Jets, like I said, I'm sure Greg Williams got a bag of money as he left.
But like, let's be serious, Eric. We both know like the Jets are waiting towards the end of the season and they're clearing house. There will not be one goddamn coach left there.
No.
So
and that's some people's argument against it is why would Greg Williams do this? Like he doesn't get to coach a team with Trevor Lawrence on it next year. He understands he's probably gone at the end of the year. So what did it help him at all to get him? I understand it doesn't help his reputation as a coach or anything, but which I understand that. But
if they get there, he looks like a genius. Like what a daring call. You know what I mean?
This is the Greg Williams
looks super brutal because it's the Jets. Yeah. And you know how that goes and everything to do with the Jets. It's a circus. And
I think one of the things we'll have in the next couple of weeks is we'll probably have where do these quarterbacks end up? And one of those quarterbacks we might have to talk about is Mr. Carson Wentz. He hasn't even entered his big contract yet, which will be kicking into effect
Engages
next
next
year.
year.
Yeah.
Yep, you betcha.
So, but last week, the Philadelphia Eagles decided, hey, we are tired of Carson Wentz and what he's doing to this team. Doug Peterson doesn't want to take it, doesn't want to take credit for the terrible play calling. They don't want to talk about the terrible moves they've made where they're just like, look, we're just going to keep on running out Alshon Jeffrey, you can't stay healthy, a Deshaun Jackson who can't stay healthy. Those are going to be our 1 and 2 receivers, and we're going to have nobody else for Carson Wentz to throw to.
Well, how many receivers did they pass up, and then they take their guy who got hurt?
Yeah, and they grabbed Rieger this year, right? So that's one.
That's right, but like they got hurt and they passed up on how many other guys? Like, I don't know.
I think because last year they took Arcega Whiteside. I think that was the receiver they took. So it's just one of those things. And a lot of people I see that everywhere. Well, Nick Foles is the one. Nick Foles is a backup quarterback. Let's be honest here. You can see it when he played. The guy got beat out by Gardner Minshew in Jacksonville. He goes down to the Bears, looks terrible with the Bears, which maybe that's just the Bears and Matt Nagy and everything else. But then they go back to Mitch Trubisky, and the offense looked terrible with Nick Foles in it anyways. So let's not talk like, Nick Foles is Patrick Mahomes or a Tom Brady or Peyton. Like he came in, he filled this, the role, and he won a Super Bowl for them.
He got hot,
which is great, right?
On a hot team, you know what I mean? So
exactly, right? When everything seemed to be going right for them. But to compare the two stats from last week, you had Carson Wentz. Obviously, like his thing, a lot of people are saying like he just holds onto the ball way too long, which I agree. Watching it,
nobody's open though.
Nobody's open.
Like that's the problem. That's why he's holding the ball.
And his offensive line's been so terrible this year that
brutal.
He's almost waiting for the pressure to get there. But Carson Wentz goes 6 for 15 for 79 yards, 4 sacks. Doesn't look the greatest, but it is what it is. Jalen Hurts goes in. He goes 5 for 12. So same thing, not a great, completion percentage either. He throws for 109 yards. Of that 109 yards, a big one of it was a 34-yard pass to Jalen Rieger, the rookie. I believe it was Jalen Rieger. No, sorry. It was Greg Ward. Or wasn't it?
I think it was Ward. I'm not sure.
Ward. So it was Ward. So, whatever. 20-yard bomb to him. Moved a couple bit, but he had 1 touchdown, 1 interception, had 3 sacks. So the rating between the two of them isn't much different. Hurts was in garbage time. You're trying to talk to the second round draft pick quarterback, which was the 5th quarterback off the board or 6th quarterback off the board, that he's the new savior. Like, I understand why people want to see him because he did some stuff. He lost his job to Tua over in Alabama, gets out of there, goes to a different program
and tears it up,
has some success over there. Right. So I understand why they want to see him play, but I don't think it's Carson Wentz. I don't think it's going to be Jalen Hurts when he goes, 17 for 32 this week for 176 yards and a touchdown and 2 interceptions. I don't think it's Jalen Hurts. That's the problem, right? I think it's just the coaching staff. They're not putting these guys in the positions to do well, right? Like Jalen Hurts completed 5 for 12 against a prevent defense in like garbage time when you're already down by 2 touchdowns, right? The score looked a little bit closer at one point. Well, that's because they got a kick return for, a punt return for a touchdown, right? So I don't know. I think Carson Wentz still has lots in the tank. I know some people are talking, does he go to the Colts after this? Obviously they only signed Phillip Rivers to a 1-year contract. Does that work? Obviously you put him back with Frank Reich, a guy who made him look like an MVP candidate. Frank Reich is a much better, offensive coordinator than an offensive mind that I think Doug Peterson is. I think Frank Reich was the guy over there, and I think that's why the Eagles succeeded so much that Super Bowl season.
I don't know. All I can tell you is I know Frank Reich's got a hell of a line right now in Indianapolis.
Well, that's the other thing, right?
In the league right now.
So he would.
But I think you hit it on the button though, Eric. Like you're talking about a line that sucks shit for the Eagles, and unfortunately, I don't think it would have been this bad. But right out of the gate, they lost guys, offensive linemen, before getting into training camp. And then they bring back the vet, who the hell is their tackle there?
Peters
But
or
he didn't.
Johnson?
Peters.
Yeah.
And then he ended up they asked him to play guard, and then the tackle gets hurt, and then they ask him to switch, and he's like, no, no dice. Then
Yeah.
the poor guy gets hurt. But like
And
I
think,
said, you got a depleted line, like you said.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get one rookie. What's that rookie going to make the difference? Unfortunately, no Sean Jeffrey. He's missing in action for what was the first 8-10 weeks. Like he was just injured. Like he.
Oh, he was.
Anyways,
He was on
and
like
Jackson just come off of
Jackson been
like
hurt and gone. Alshon Jeffrey has been up and
Hurts.
down. They have no run
Hurts
game
been
at
hurt
all.
too. Exactly,
Like,
Hurts is hurt too. So like people are like you're saying, like people are like, what's wrong with Carson Wentz? Well, yeah, he's not playing his best football. He's holding on to the ball. Nobody's open, man, and he's getting hit all the time. What do you expect's going to happen? So really, I think with them benching him, I don't, really I see it as a we're still in this fight for the playoffs because that division's so bad. They're still in the fight there, believe it or not. So they're going to see what they got with this rookie and go with it. Like they could always go back to him. I know his numbers in December the last couple of years have been horrible, but like, man, they just not been good. Like even last year, it was a lot of this, what's going not to this effect. They were a little bit better, but you know what I mean? They weren't great either. So I don't know. Like personally, I think Wentz is not done. I hope not. I think maybe it's a little bit mental, but man, he those are big keys. His line sucks. The guys aren't getting open. This is what's going to happen. If guys aren't getting open, he's going to hold the ball longer. That's what happens to a quarterback. So, anyways, whatever. He's trying to make the right decision. Yeah, he's got some shitty picks, and his numbers are horrible. But to me, it's not on him.
No,
some of it is, yes, but a lot of it, it's like you like to claim for Phillip Rivers. He's trying to make a goddamn play. So it is
trying to extend it, trying to let somebody get open at some point, right? So
exactly. So like I don't mean to ramble on, but so I really just see them seeing what they got with the rookie, and just hoping they can win enough games down the stretch to win that division. But I think they're screwed because Alex Smith for the Washington football team.
Oh no, there's no way the Eagles make it at this point. There's just
I don't think so either, man. Like
between the
Washington's
Giants,
the favorite.
The Washington and the Giants are both ahead of them. Like there's just no chance that
I just say Washington because I like Smith. You know what I mean?
Know.
He's been there and he was horrible in that. God, it was painful to watch when the quarterbacks get hurt. He goes in, man, he took some licks in that game. Yeah, man, he's really, felt his way around, got control somewhat of the offense, and they're getting the ball out of his hands quick, and it's so much better. So and their defense is doing their thing.
Yeah, so maybe how he gets kicked, the GM, maybe he gets kicked out by the end of the year. He also, yes, he drafted Jalen Hurts, which some people say obviously he
second round, like
he drafted the successor, which is great. The other thing though is he also is the one that gave Carson Wentz that big contract to begin with. Which if they have to trade him, if he looks bad, which is what they're talking about now, you may have to pay somebody to take his contract. So you might have to give up a second, like they did with Brock Osweiler a couple of years back, right? Like you might have to pay somebody to take him, and that would be the best case scenario for someone like the Colts. A Colt to be like licking their chops, like, yeah, give us a second or a third round draft pick to take your guy and his big contract, which they have
got to work money wise though, right?
But they have the money. They have so much cap space. It's not even funny. Like it's ridiculous.
Who the Colts?
Oh yeah, they have so much. But the nice thing, and I don't agree with a lot of it, but the one thing I can say is if it's a new GM comes in, or even just Howie sticking there, the nice thing is you're gonna have such a good draft pick because you are so bad this year. Right now, the Jets are worse than them. The Chargers have almost the same record. The Bengals have a worse record, and the Jags. I think that's it. The Cowboys, Eagles. So Cowboys, Eagles, and Chargers all have 3 wins. It's fucking terrible. The Jets have 0 wins. The Jags. So you're talking, you're going to have potentially a top 7 pick here. And the Chargers aren't going to take a quarterback because they have Justin Herbert. The Bengals aren't going to take a quarterback because they have, Joe Burrow. The Texans are 4-8. So, behind them, they're not going to try to move up for a quarterback because, well, actually, they don't even have their pick. That's Miami's pick, which is Tua. So you don't even have to worry about that. The Jags are going to take Fields, if they stay in the same position. Bengals probably take an offensive lineman. And then now you're down to the Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to take a quarterback. Exactly. The Cowboys and Chargers, neither one of them. So you technically have the chance to take the third best quarterback in the draft, which is probably, I think it's what, Trey Waynes, or there's the other guy, I think it's
Depends who
Lance or
you
something like
talk
that.
to.
Yeah.
Depends
So,
who
but
you
there's a
talk
couple
to.
guys that are right there in that top 10 quarterback, the top 3 or 4, that maybe you just say, screw it. We messed up with Wentz, get him out of here. Hurts, look, we gave him 4 or 5 games. He doesn't look any better. Get him out of here. And then you draft another quarterback. Maybe that's a situation that you deal with, right? So
So you're
I don't.
thinking the Eagles should take a quarterback?
Well, it depends. Maybe it depends how Hurts looks in the next couple of weeks, right? If they look terrible, then maybe you do, right? Like it's, it's if that guy, if Jalen Hurts doesn't look like the guy, if he's throwing, you know, if he's got a 1-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, if he's completing under 50% of his passes, if he's has bad like maybe like he was a second round quarterback, right? And the end of the second round. So obviously he wasn't like a top 10 guy. You don't have a whole lot of draft capital in him. Some of these teams just have to accept when they messed up. The Jags should have done it years ago when they had Blake Bortles. The Bears should have done it with Mitch Trubisky, right? Some of these teams just have to accept that they messed up.
Yeah, Trubisky, like I was so shocked, and I think we watched that draft together.
Yeah.
In person, and I looked at you and I was like, I was shocked because
Yeah.
I watched him play in college out here, and he's a little bit better with his accuracy. Yeah, he's like an athletic quarterback, but he doesn't even really run in the NFL. Can we agree on that? Like he really doesn't take off for like 5 yards.
Well, he's had some big runs, right? He had that one earlier in the year where he tripped over his own feet and fell. But he's had some big runs.
He doesn't do it often though. You know what I mean?
No, he's not a true scrambler like you think about it, but he should,
Exactly.
right? Like I don't know. It is what it is at the end of the day, but
I was shocked they took him and what they paid for him. No thanks. But you know what? If they hit the home run there, they look like genius. So
like I said,
it is what it is.
The Eagles are out of it, so I understand. But I think
what I wanted to
Carson
ask you is, okay. So I was going to ask you, would you give up on him? And you just answered my question saying no. And for me, for sure, no. Like I don't know about Hurts. Like I like Hurts, I really do.
Yeah.
I love that he can run. I think if you keep it simple for them, you can work with him and you can build him up. But man, like I think, look, no, like I don't. Is he better than Wentz right now? Maybe because I think Wentz might be in his own head a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure, but no,
which doesn't help.
I wouldn't honestly, personally, myself, and Eric just answered the question the way I would. I don't think I wouldn't give up on him. I know you got all this money you got guaranteed, but next year's a new year. You just fucking get behind him.
Well, he also has to hear every day, put in Hurts, which is also on that coaching staff when they drafted him in the second round. Like if you have that much faith in the guy, and I understand you just take best player available or whoever on the top of your board, and maybe that's what the Eagles did last year with Hurts. But I don't know. Like you said, they didn't make this situation easy for Wentz anyways, and it's not really like a win-win situation. Like any game he played bad, there's always going to be the thought, well, Hurts wouldn't have done that no matter what he does, right? So when you have a backup like that, it's what's going to happen. Another rookie quarterback like Hurts is one named Tua, and that guy plays down there for Miami Dolphins, which is the team of our good friend Cody Bowman. And Tua, he looks like he's going to be healthy again to play.
He's back from his thumb injury.
If he struggles though, do they bench him again? Because they're right in the thick of it.
They do for sure, and that's the reason. The reason why is exactly what you said. They are, what are they, 8-4?
8-4.
Like, yeah, they're in the hunt. They're not in the hunt. They're in the playoffs right now. They're ahead of New England. New England, with this loss here last night, is essentially out.
Yeah.
Basically now. So yeah, like Miami's in the hunt, man, and they got a real chance here. So if he struggles, you just turn to him and you just tell Tua, you're still our guy. It's just part of it. So,
yeah, and he's come back from that injury, and that was kind of the thing a lot of people said and Fitz is a professional where he'll do anything to win, right? Like he's your typical backup that he's done all these things over the years. So he's done so much and trying to make everything work, and he's brought this team to 8-4. and Tua hasn't looked amazing in any games either, which is the other big thing.
He's looked all right. Like he's
Yeah.
looked good. He's looked good.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all. You wouldn't say amazing. You wouldn't say fantastic. You wouldn't say outstanding.
No.
He looks good. But like we've been stressing on the show, and everybody else too. The guy's been out of football for a while, and that's a major injury. He's coming back, and I'll take what he looks like. So
yeah, as I said,
as long as he keeps progressing, making strides. But like to answer your question, for sure, they're trying to win a championship. They're trying to win the Super Bowl. They're trying to win a fucking playoff game. So yeah, for sure. And I think they got the defense, man. Their defense is underrated.
Trevor over here getting chirped by Dolphins fans today when he's trying to tell them happy birthday.
I wish my buddy a happy birthday. And he's like, isn't it awesome or like ironic that New England and Miami have switched spots? And I'm like, buddy, we've won. I didn't tell him this. I didn't respond because I'm a nice guy. But buddy, we won 6 fucking Super Bowls.
Yeah.
What is your argument? Like, we have a bad year? I'll take it. We still got 6 of these, boys.
Yeah.
That people can never take from us. So, and we're not fucking horrible. Yeah, we're not great. We're inconsistent. But you know what? Next year's a new year. We'll continue to get better, hopefully down the stretch. And we'll go from there. Just like with you guys in the Chargers, like every goddamn minute Herbert steps on the field, he's going to be that much better next year. That's the way I look at it, right? Repetition, reps, familiar with your teammates, playbooks. You're just learning. You're getting a little bit better. You're getting your feet wet. So I'll just use that analogy. Eric's quarterback. So I just think most of the guys are coming back for New England next year. We're going to have a lot of cap relief. I don't know what they're going to do with the quarterback position. I don't know if Cammy comes back. We'll see. I'm interested to see what we do in the draft. Eric, I was going to tell you this. It would look really good in New England, and boy, it's a big hole right there for us right now. Would be Chase. I know he hasn't played oh my God. Wouldn't that sexy LSU beast look good in New England if we had somebody to throw him the ball?
He's not falling.
But it's not the important thing. He's coming. He hasn't played. They're saying, listen, this is okay. We're getting a little off track here, but I just want to throw this
no shit. We're talking about the Dolphins and Tua, and Trevor's off on a tangent.
I'm talking about a draft pick. I was like, but they're saying that he could potentially, because he didn't play this year, and hurt his stock in the draft.
No,
I'm like,
never.
Man, if he's not in the top 10, there's something wrong. But anyways, all right. So like Miami for sure. I think it's a no-brainer, Eric. I think you bench him, if you have to, and you go back to him. And I think you just tell him, you don't have it. We need to win this game. This is where we're at. So
no, I think that's the case.
Like hard either.
If he had been winning some games or he looked really great in them, and then he just hurt his thumb, then I understand. Yeah, you know what? Maybe you just go back to him. But he looked good in the only game that he really looked like crazy good in was that Cardinals game that they played. But against the Chargers, he looked okay. But that was the second game.
The first game, he didn't look great. The second game, he looked a lot better. Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah.
So,
but anyways, it is what it is. Now to the shit show game that we're going to talk about here. This is the New England Patriots went down to Los Angeles and they
fucking spanked the Chargers.
And they played a team called the Chargers, and we lost. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was this episode. It was thank you for joining us.
Oh, right? Just domination.
Oh my God. So
wasn't good, buddy.
So it starts off, the Chargers can't do anything. The Patriots just go back to their
on
model.
All 3 phases, they can't do anything. That's the best part.
No, defensively, they're getting a couple things going, but it is what it is. And but they get a block field goal, they get a block punt. They have a touchdown return, so they're scoring in all 3 phases of the special teams. Special team, you guys are gashing us every time for a return for big plays. Herbert looked a little bit off, but the line looked terrible for him. We
were getting to the quarterback in that game.
Oh
though.
My God, it was so bad.
We even blitzed linebackers, which is I don't understand why we don't do more often. But
yeah, it was terrible. There was just. His offensive line just decided hey, we're just not going to block at all. There was one that Forrest Lamp just didn't touch the guy. Like he just walked right through and force slamp at left guard. Looked, he, gets out of his, gets up out of, when the ball's hiked, and then the center's got one guy over top of him. The center's got him. The guy's even to like more of like the right of the center, and so force slamp has nobody to touch. And I understand like there's different ways of motions on the line and everything else, but he doesn't even touch the guy on his left that's coming from like the other like. And he goes right in and tackles Justin. I'm like, what is going on? It was just utter domination by the Patriots from top to bottom. Cam, and the thing is
all three phases. Let me get 3 fingers up. There we go.
No, well, minus the passing game because you guys couldn't pass the ball for fucking life.
Didn't have to.
No,
didn't have to.
But we lost to a quarterback that had 69 yards passing. 69 yards in the
Again,
air.
I don't even care.
I know. But that's like
Harris was so fucking good, man. Harris, I'll give a shout out to White too, but Harris, man, I love the way he runs. He's just so aggressive. I don't know if he's got a little bit of patience, and I like that fullback of ours. How New England, Jesus, how the NFL's got the program. So I don't want to say it's not foreigners, but I want to say like that's not the correct word I'm looking for. Jesus. Anyways, it's like it's almost like an exchange.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like when I don't know people, but that's where he came from a different country or whatever. It's awesome. He's a beauty too. I've watched him over the last basically 2 seasons evolve. He was forcing the play, like he was not even really supposed to be a special team guy, but Dublin got hurt, ended up retiring because of the injury to his neck, and he's been a beauty, man. He's just such a good player, man. Lead blocker. He's getting it done.
So Harris puts up 16 attempts for 80 yards for 5 yards per run, which is right around where you want for your running back. Exactly. Cam Newton adds 48 yards on 14 rushes, 2 touchdowns. Sonny Michel still looked crappy as always, but he had 35 yards on 10 rushes for 3.5 yards per rush.
Favorite running back in the league.
So terrible. I don't know how
good.
You guys are so terrible at drafting any position player ever. Like it's I don't know how you ever got by and how you won all these championships.
Whatever.
Your leading receiver was also your leading punt returner. You guys should have got like the game ball, which is that white boy there, Oselski or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, you pretend Gunner? To stumble on his name. Yeah, that's right.
Gunner. Like what a name, eh? Gunner. That's playing on special teams.
What a beauty, man! Like what a beauty.
So he scores a return touchdown and he set you guys up in good position a couple other times. He gets a receiving touchdown from Stidham later in the game when they pulled to Cam. But it was just terrible. Justin Herbert threw 53 times for 209 yards and 2 interceptions, was sacked 3 times, was pressured a whole lot more than that. Austin Eckler and Balaj, they got a little bit on the ground, but they only had 15 rushes between them, but that's because the game kind of got out of hand early on. Keenan Allen had 5 receptions for 48 yards on 11 targets. Mike Williams had 4 for 9. Guyton had 2 on 7. Like it's just nothing really worked the whole game. I don't know what was going on. I know obviously I don't know if we talked about it, but Anthony Lynn came out before the game and kind of said, earlier in the week said, look guys, we're pretty much eliminated. Like, let's just play for pride, I guess, or whatever he kind of said, which a lot of people kind of threw shade at him for because they said like they've never heard of a coach until you're mathematically eliminated. You never say that stuff, but he kind of understood like, look, we got 3 fucking wins. We're going into week 13 here. The chances of us winning and becoming 7-9 or 8-9 or whatever it was going to be, like it's the chances of us actually making the playoffs at this point are slim and or none, which they put themselves in that position, but their special teams has just been so terrible. The Chargers are top 10 in both offensive and defensive ratings, which is great to see. Just everything. It's just
they got to fire the whole lot there.
Yeah, I was always a big fan of Anthony Lynn, and I've said it since the start. Like I have never said like get Anthony Lynn out of here, but this was kind of, I think this is the straw that broke the camel's back, unfortunately. Even just keeping Justin Herbert in there when he's getting absolutely killed nonstop. I couldn't believe that he did that. That was another thing that just, and apparently it's because Justin Herbert said, like, my guys are still out there. I don't want to come off the field. I want to, I'm going to go down the ship type of thing, which is fine. I understand why you say that. But then that's where the coach has to look at him and say, son, I appreciate you saying that, but
live the fight another day.
Let the
Right?
fight another day. Tyrod's going in. You can go sit on the bench and go from there, right? You're down 40 something to nothing. You're not going to bring this team back and win this game. So it was frustrating. Trevor, I'm sure, was doing backflips over there at his house for the most.
It was over early. Honestly, it reminded me of the fucking playoff game. So
and that playoff game, I was so fucking jacked. I was like, I think we have a chance to win. I looked at everybody and I told everybody that week, I said, the only way I think the Patriots can beat us is if they run it down our throats, because we're just not built to stop the run, and the defense that Gus Bradley has, it's not meant to stop the run, and I don't think we can. But it is what it is. I said that's the only way the Patriots beat it, and then the Patriots destroyed us in the run. Like between Sony Michel and Cordell
Patterson, man.
It was not a little bit good. I want to ask
James
you, Trevor,
White, but
real
it wasn't good, man. You guys got a clear house.
Yeah, with the from the Buffalo game, did you see the Joey Bosa mic'd up?
I didn't, but I saw him where he said he was asked about it or something like that. He's like, I was mic'd up, go whatever.
Yeah.
And I saw that and thought that was hilarious. I saw a little clip of it.
He's like yelling.
Cool,
he's like,
but I didn't see the whole thing.
He's like, I'm a bleeping beast. Get off me, you fat. And then he's yelling. Anyways,
I love it.
It's so funny because when he's usually talking in interviews or even on the sideline when they have him mic'd up for anything, he's just so like dopey and like so like monotone and doesn't like care. And he was getting right jacked up. Anyways, I'll send it to you after it. If you guys haven't yet, go look it up. NFL had it up. The Chargers, I think, shared it. I think it's probably on YouTube. Just look up Joey Bosa mic'd up.
Oh, it's definitely on YouTube.
It is hilarious just because he's like dominating the game, and he did that entire game against the Bills. But yeah, it was just funny. But I think that's it. Like I said, Patriots, they were looking good. They were on an all-time high, and then all of a sudden, I guess we'll talk on this. So the Thursday night game was yesterday.
What was the final score? 20. I'm watching it right now. 24-3.
24-3.
So they lost by
3 touchdowns.
4 scores. Yeah.
No, 3 scores. So
yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Cam Newton throws 9 for 16 for 119 yards, 1 interception, 4 sacks. So that's actually a good stat line for him compared to like some of the...
Stidham got sacked, I think, 3 times too. Did he not, or at least 2?
Twice.
Yeah.
Stidham went 5 for 7 for 27 yards, so he didn't look good either. The running game, it was okay, but they got behind early, so they kind of abandoned the run a little bit. Cam only rushed for 16 yards on 7 attempts. Sony Michel, he was garbage again as always, so 7 yards for 22. 22 yards on 7.
Eric's favorite running back in the league, boy.
And then Harris actually had a good game as always. 11 attempts for 50 yards for 4.5 yards per carry. N'Keal Harry actually looked pretty good. He had 49 yards, 48 yards for Bird. Myers had 47, and then 0 for any other receiver or tight end. James White had 1 catch for 2 yards. So
yeah, that's horrible.
And you're playing against a really good defense, and the Rams have to get up. And once they get up on you, then it's kind of all but over.
It's the same with New England though. They need to get up. Like New England's not made to come from behind.
No,
they're made to play with the lead.
You'd have to throw the ball at that
point. Even though we did fucking win some games coming from behind, like we should have beat KC, but let's not talk about shoulda, coulda, woulda.
No, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah. Then we talked about this last week. The Chargers would be like 8-3 right now. So
yeah, but that was by far your guys' worst game.
Oh, that was
that was all coaching.
Every other game, other like the Buffalo game, we lost by 2 scores, but it was by 10 points. And then last week was 45, so it's blown out. Every other game this year, we had lost by 1 score or less. So, right?
I honestly believe that. Like they were out coached in that game. Belichick's got a crazy fucking record against rookie quarterbacks, which is ridiculous. But
we had 3 punts,
anyways,
Trevor. One of them
we
had 3 punts on against the Patriots. That one of them we had 12 men on the field, which we got a penalty for.
I remember that.
Then we had 10 men on the field, and then we had another one with 10
that was the best.
Then we had another one with 10 men on the field. So we had 2 punts with 10 men on the field and one with 12. What are you doing? Like, our special teams is so bad. We already fired the special team coordinator. Like, that's the worst part of our game. Blocks and returns, and guys are like almost feel like they're too good for special teams. Like, I feel like you almost need like an old head for special teams to be in there and like beating guys' asses and making them run if they don't want to. You can't get some newfangled young guy in there. Like, you have
fucking
to like,
cut them. You don't want to play special teams, cut them, man. There's guys out there that will do anything to make a team.
That's it.
So that's the way. Look at New England. New England doesn't have some, like, yeah, some of our guys are talented, but some of our guys are really just blue collar guys, like Gunner, like you just said,
Like
Gunnarsson.
Gunner. Yeah,
like he's a fucking football player. You know, like when we drafted Edelman, he was a quarterback from Kent State, 7th round pick that we drafted as a receiver, and he molded himself into, like, you know, Belichick said he was a football player, man. Like he's, you know, doing anything for the team.
Jalen Guyton is a speedster, and he's like essentially been like the 3rd receiver for the Chargers all year. But he's on special teams, and every time that guy
he's making plays now, though, man. Fuck, I noticed him the last, I want to say 3 weeks, man.
Yeah, on the offensive side.
He's had some big plays.
He's on the offensive side, but the problem is when he's on the kick, like on the kick team or whatever, like he's almost almost looks like he thinks that he's too good for that, like to be on that, you know, with that group. Like you can't have that in this day and age. You can't have that in the NFL. And it's like the guys just really have to buy in. And like I said, the blocking's been terrible. We've had multiple punts and kicks blocked. It's just been an absolute shit show on that side of the ball all year. Michael Badgley hasn't helped himself either. They used to call him the money badger because he was, you know, guaranteed to make a kick all the time. He's looked bad. I don't know. It's just bad all over. But anyways, we'll get away from that. We'll get right into the picks now.
Let's get into the picks.
I didn't check what we had for last week. I'm assuming I won, so we'll go off that.
Still got a ways to go to catch me, huh?
Yeah, possibly.
I did have 2 bad weeks, though.
You did.
That week I picked Detroit, I picked Detroit. Oh my God, in Dallas.
Yeah.
That was Thanksgiving. Oh my God. That was horrible.
You had a bad one.
Let's fucking go into the picks.
So I want to know for this week already. Let's just put that down.
I'm 0-1. I had New England last night. I already told Eric that.
I would have had the Rams. So
even though I love the Rams, you just don't go against your team. Eric knows how I feel about that.
Yeah, 100%. The Broncos, they are going and playing against the Panthers. So Drew Lock, there's another team that might need a quarterback.
Where's that game at?
In Carolina.
Give me Carolina.
Carolina?
Teddy playing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, give me Carolina.
So Carolina for Trevor. I'm going with the Broncos.
Carolina people there's that new coach has done a great job.
I really like Matt Rule.
Yeah, the team's really responded to him. They've had some tough games, but I feel like, you know, towards, you know, the further along we get along in the season with 4 weeks left, they're trending up. They look a lot better. Like, I find they're getting better every week, even if they don't get the result they want. By that I mean win, W. So I think they got a hell of a hire there. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do in year 2. But I really like where they're going.
No, I think so too. I thought they were going to be terrible this year, and just to see with who they have on that team to be as competitive as they have been, I think that says a lot about the coaching staff there. So, but I'm going to go with the Broncos. I just think maybe Drew Lock has a little bit more in them. See what they can get out of that team, but I'm going to go with the Broncos. Next one, the Cardinals, who have really had a fall from grace. They've looked really bad ever since Kyler kind of got a little banged up there, and they've kind of abandoned the run on him. But the Cardinals
come down to reality, if you ask me personally. Exactly. But that's just my, you know.
Exactly. They're playing against the Giants. So who do you got?
Well, everybody's jumping on the old Giants, eh? And now, so I've also heard that their coach should get Coach of the Year. Okay, let's just calm her down.
Joe Judge?
They played I heard that on a podcast. I'm not even going to say the name of the podcast, but I was like, let's not get too excited here. Like, but they're doing a good job. There's a team like they're losing they lost some of their best players, but they're another team trending up. But let's not get carried away. He's not coach of the year. That's all I'm gonna say.
No.
God, I'd like to take Arizona here, but God, yeah, give me Arizona. God, they're bad.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm gonna go with the Giants. I don't know if I've said that all year long. Maybe that one game against Washington, I would have said it.
Giants have pulled 2 games in a row, eh? Is it 2 or more?
2 or 3. I don't know. They're
might be 3, but they're due to lose.
Yeah. Next one. It's the Chiefs of Kansas City, and they're playing against the Miami Dolphins.
God, this is gonna be a beauty game. Jesus, give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, they did. You might not have seen this, but they asked Brian Flores, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. They said, "How do you stop Patrick Mahomes in that Chiefs offense?" And he said, "Do you think the NFL will allow me to play with 14 guys on the field for the defense?" Apparently, that's a no, guy. But
I still don't think that would help you, bro. Just gonna say
no. So we'll see what the Dolphins. The Dolphins do have a good defense. I think they're gonna give him a little bit of a fits, but I think overall, I think they got enough for the Chiefs to get it. So I'm also going with the Chiefs over the Dolphins, and I see Fitzmagic coming into this game at some point and taking over Tua.
You do.
I do.
Probably a good call.
Next one. This is 2 terrible teams. This is really for draft position. The Cowboys can either stay around that 4th pick or so, or maybe they switch to the Bengals because they're playing against the Bengals who have 2 wins. So who do you get between the Cowboys and the Bengals? This is terrible football right here. I don't plan on watching a minute of this game. Not a minute.
Well, Jesus, the last time I went with the Dolphins, they burned me. So give me the fucking Bengals. Let's go, Bengals. I don't even know who the quarterback is, but let's go.
Is it Ryan Finley? Is that who the...
I don't know, but that doesn't sound good. Give me the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go, Red Rocket. Let's beat your old team, boy.
They played against the Miami
Andy.
Dolphins. Oh my God. They had, they might have Brian Allen, maybe it's a B Allen. Maybe it's Brian Allen. He went 11 for 19 for 153 yards, a touchdown interception. Ryan Finley went 6 for 7 for 40 yards and an INT, and Tyler Boyd threw for 1. So there you go. So you're going with the Cowboys now. You're switching your pick.
Oh yeah, go with the Cowboys, boy. That doesn't sound good. 3 guys and the receivers got the best stat line.
Oh my
God. Not good.
Next one. It's I'm not gonna waste time on that one. Nobody cares about that. That's a terrible game. The Texans. They are going to Chicago, to the Windy City. And who do you got?
Give me Chicago.
Really? Chicago?
Yeah. Give me the Bears.
You're going with Mitch? You're going with Mitch?
I like the defense.
What about Mitch? You like Mitch?
I don't want to talk about Mitch.
I'm going with the Texans. I think Deshaun Watson. He's looked really good. Yeah, I think they're gonna have a hard time rebuilding that whole situation over there. But that's probably one of the better. If you had to pick one place where you had to rebuild and for a good GM job, you have, an all-pro quarterback in Deshaun. You have a good left tackle, a good young left tackle.
You have some pieces.
Yeah, those are two of the biggest pieces you need on the offensive side of the ball. Go from there. But I'm going with the Texans. I think they just got a little bit more. I think Mitch Trubisky is terrible. Next one. It's the Titans, and they're going to play against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I think are going to start Mike Glennon again, even though Gardner Minshew's healthy.
No, you're right. I'm pretty sure they are.
But I'm going with the Titans.
I am as well, even though it's a rival game. It's still, I think it'll be somewhat. I think the Titans by 10.
I think Mike Glennon getting the start is all you need to know that the Jaguars want to lose. I think it's all you need to know, because I think Gardner Minshew makes that a very competitive. And obviously Mike Glennon made it close against the Vikings last week. But I think Gardner Minshew is the better player. And I thought that before the start of the year. I thought they'd be terrible, but I thought Minshew would keep them in enough games to stay competitive. Now Minshew got hurt and he had some other issues over there, but I think Minshew's the man. And he'll be backing up Justin Fields next year. So last game of the early schedule, we have the Vikings, who have Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen's back, who's a beast. He's got like 12 touchdowns this year. You have rookie of the year candidate and Justin Jefferson. You have all these guys, and they're going to play Tom Brady and the dream team, as some people like to call them. People just wanted to hand them the Super Bowl before the season started, Trevor, and they didn't realize that you actually have to play some goddamn games.
I wasn't one of them.
Yeah, I didn't.
Go Pats.
Who do you got between the Vikings and the Buccaneers?
It's a good question, but I'm going to take Tommy here.
You're going to take Tommy and the Bucks?
Did they just come off that embarrassing loss?
No, they just came up by, I think.
But before the bye, they lost, I believe. So yeah, give me Tommy.
Yeah, last week
the Bucks.
Last week the Bucks didn't play, which once again,
the Bucks are inconsistent.
That is
They're
inconsistent. That's that Tom Brady. We'll give you the
really good. We're shit. You know what I mean? They need to get consistent. They need to get better.
That late bye week for Tom Brady is, I don't think any. I think that's Roger Goodell doing him a favor, trying to give them as much as they can. No, they came off that bad. It looked a lot closer than it was, but that was the game against the Chiefs. Was the last loss against them. They made it close 24-27, but it wasn't close. Like, that was a blowout. I think we talked about that already. I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think Tom Brady gets behind. I don't think he has any run game against them. And I don't think Tom Brady without a run game is going to have a very hard time. So maybe I'm wrong, but I think the Vikings have enough that they're going to win the game.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm going to be so happy if both the Patriots and Tom Brady don't make the playoffs this year. Do you understand how happy that would make me?
Tommy's going to make it. The Pats are, unfortunately, that loss last night crippled them, I think. But I'll be interested to see what they do down the stretch here, because they got Miami, Buffalo, and the Jets, I believe. So all division games. So they could really fuck things up for Miami and slow down the Buffalo Bills. So
I was thinking maybe the Bucs wouldn't make it, but they play the Falcons twice and the Giant and the Lions other than this week. So yeah, they're gonna make it. They're gonna.
They play the Falcons twice in the last that's fucking horrible. Who makes these schedules?
I don't know.
Like that. Can we both agree that's fucking stupid?
That's really stupid. That's your last two.
Personally, if I had let's say New England played the Jets last night, and we got to play them not next week, the week after, I'd be like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Well, I think Tampa Bay also had the 32nd or the 30th easiest schedule coming into the year too. I think it's something like that. Once again, Tom Brady getting those favorable bounces. Next game, it's the Raiders, who just barely beat out the Jets, and they're playing against Indianapolis in Las Vegas.
The Colts.
Going the Colts. I think it's Colts too. I think the Raiders, I think they're having a hard time, and I think the Colts are just that much better. They barely beat the Houston Texans, but I think that game was also kind of, I don't know. I think the Colts kind of had that for a lot of the game, and they figured it out. But Deshaun obviously fumbled at the end there with the bad snap by Nick Martin. But yeah, it is what it is. What else do you do, right? Next one, it's the Jets, and they're looking to stay winless. If there's one team that plays down to their opponent, though, it is the Seattle Seahawks. So there's a good chance that the Jets might win this. But yeah, Seahawks versus Jets. I'm assuming you're going with the Seahawks.
I am. And Seattle, honestly, man, Russ, they're doing as good as they are because Russ has carried them. And when he's, been hit around and struggled, unfortunately, they've lost. So, it is what it is there. They do, and in the offseason, they got to start doing a little bit better. I hate to say this, a little bit better job drafting and finding guys to help them because, they got one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and they need help on that other side of the ball, man.
They're another stupid team that drafted a running back in the first round when they took Rashad Penny. It's
a couple years ago.
Yeah, and then Chris Carson.
And he looked like a bust until last year. Last year, he actually started doing something.
He still looked terrible. Chris Carson's a man over there.
Come on. Ooh,
do you want Penny's stats, Trevor? Because I'll give it to you.
No, I know they're not good. I know for a fact. I've watched him like a hawk since he's come in the league.
He's terrible. Here in a second, I got to give you these. So last year,
my question to you is, I don't understand how Atkinson runs for crazy yards his career game against New England, and Henderson doesn't do fuck all. It
You mean
blows my
Akers?
mind. Yeah, sorry. What did I
Yeah.
say? It doesn't
You
matter.
said you said
I,
Atkinson, but
I loved him coming out of college. Don't get me wrong, out of Florida State, but I thought he was going to be a good running back, but like man, like I didn't think that was going to be the case here. What I'm seeing so far.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm pretty happy with that because I have quite a few Cam Akers cards in my collection right now, and
he's going to be a beauty.
They're all. I got them all.
Down.
I got them all up on eBay. I don't care. I'll sell all the Cam Akers hype as much as I can.
Because like if Henderson didn't go off this year, he would have been like Brown for them, right? Like he would have been the second guy for sure. But he kind of showed what everybody thought he was a couple of years ago. So
they're just trying to find, and the running back by committee is probably the better situation.
It is like, especially like teams that run the ball, like the Rams. You know what I mean? Like it sets up their passing game and makes their quarterback so much better. So
yeah, and they don't even just do like your straight get them, get the guys moving or anything like that's not their whole thing, which is nice. Like they do a whole lot of things with it. Like they actually pull guards in their play actions. They do a lot of stuff. Like it's well,
there's always motion on there. Like they're always motion somebody, which I love too. I hate to say that, but I do like it. But I also, like me and you have talked about, I've said on this podcast probably 1,000 times, I love seeing a fullback back there. Like I like watching the 49ers play that West Coast offense, and we're going to line up in this or what. They motion a lot too, but I just mean like the traditional fullback and running back. I like it. Bigger bodies. So like one receiver.
Usac's the biggest. Usac for the 49ers
double tight end
could be the quarterback because he could call it every play and knows where everyone's supposed to be on every play. Like he's that smart. He's just a white boy though that wants to play fullback, so it works out. Next game, it's the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, who I think has the best QBR in the entire league this year, and he's playing against the Detroit Lions and Matthew Stafford.
He's my MVP pick right now.
Rodgers.
He is. Yep.
I like Rodgers too. I think Rodgers is really good. I'm going with
the
Packers.
Mahomes he's a sexy pick, right, for everybody. But I'm just saying Rodgers right now is my leading candidate.
Yeah, I think Rodgers. I think Rodgers has been the better quarterback. Maybe.
Who do you got right now? Let's get into that. Who do you got? Just tell me who you got.
Justin
out of
Herbert.
The two.
No, joking. I would
fucking.
You gotta win. You gotta win games to get the MVP.
What kind of Kool-Aid are you sipping over there, homie?
Hey, he's rookie of the year, but not.
Offensive rookie of the year for sure. Yeah,
exactly. So but no, I'm going with Aaron Rodgers too. I think he's been really, really good all year. I think Patrick Mahomes, I think he's looked very pedestrian in a lot of his games, and he hasn't put up a lot of crazy stats. And I think there's been some games that Aaron Rodgers has really done a whole lot. And now, like I said, this is going to be a game where Rodgers is going to talk to Matthew Stafford, and they're just going to sit back. And I think Matthew Stafford's going to just sling the ball around too. I think it's going to be a good game. I like Matthew Stafford. I wish the Lions weren't so dog shit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But I'm going to go with the Packers.
Give me the Pack.
Every
time I go with Detroit, they lose, so I can't do it.
Here's two terrible teams once again battling for draft position at this point of the season. It is the Atlanta Falcons, and they are going down to a beautiful new stadium in Los Angeles and playing against my LA Chargers, and they're probably going to beat them. But I'm going to go with the Chargers because that's what I do. I punish myself every week. Yeah. Who you got, Trevor?
I got Atlanta.
Oh my God.
I was going to go with the Chargers here, but fuck. Jesus, I don't even know.
I don't blame you. Hey, I don't even blame you at this point, man. I just
don't know what to say to you. Like, I'm either going to do really good this week or I'm going to get spanked. So
that's pretty much it.
I went with Chicago. What can I tell you?
Yeah, we're not gonna dwell on this game. It's my season's been terrible as is, so we'll just wait and see what happens. Saints, they are going to play the Eagles. I also have the Saints.
Give me the Saints. I'm not going with Hurts, and maybe they get that win, but they've been so bad. And
apparently,
give me the Saints.
I think they think the Drew Brees is going to be back for week 15 or 16. I guess he's not supposed to be on track to play for those weeks, but we'll wait and see. Last game of the afternoon schedule, we have the Washington football team with Alex Smith, the one-legged bionicle leg man, playing against the 49ers. Who do you got?
Ooh, Alex Smith. Give me the God, as bad as I want to take the wow. Give me the 49ers.
I was waiting for you. I was like, this is gonna be such a hard one for Trevor because, like, I just know that you love Shanahan so much and you love everything that offense does.
I know. Even they spanked us this year. Oh boy, it was bad.
And yeah, and I think Washington's pretty.
But
I'm gonna go with
you know
Washington.
how much I like Alex Smith.
You do
His
love
whole
Alex Smith.
story. He's just such a professional. Like I don't know. Like I really think they're gonna win that division because of that boy right there. And their defense is legitly pretty good. Like not shit. So I don't know. And they got the right coach there.
I just want to apologize to Alex Smith and the Washington football team. I may have said a few weeks back that I thought you guys should go to Dwayne Haskins because what else did you have to lose?
You did say that.
Weren't going to make the playoffs and you guys were dog shit and you might as well see what you have in Dwayne Haskins. Maybe drop some trade bait for him, get some trade talk going because he's looking good in practice. He's looking good in the game where teams can kind of pick and choose what they want from what they saw film of him. But you stuck with Alex Smith and it's worked out for you. So once again, I apologize to the Washington football team and their decisions.
Fans out there.
Hey, it is what it is. Next game, it's the late game. This is actually gonna be a really good game. And I got a quick question for you, Trevor, before you make this pick.
Give her.
Are the Pittsburgh Steelers are they real?
I don't know. Like I think they'll go far. I don't know if they're good enough to go to the. They had a light schedule, man. Their schedule wasn't, and then they played Baltimore, and Baltimore wasn't healthy, so they played one game against Baltimore when they're healthy. So you know what I mean by that. So
yeah,
I want to say they're pretend, but they're. You know what really hurt them? I liked their chances until they lost their pass rusher. One of them to what was it? Tear his knee up.
Oh, Bud Dupree.
Yeah, like after that, I don't know. They're not as good as
they've also beat some really bad teams this year.
That's what I mean. I did not like their schedule. I think they're good, but I just don't think they've played enough elite competition to really for us to get a handle at where they're at.
No, you've played. A lot of people made a lot out of them beating the Ravens, and then I think we all kind of realized that the Ravens aren't who we thought they were. They're just not the team that they were last year. And then they lose to Washington last week, right? And Washington looked pretty good. And yeah, they just had some issues. Big Ben, it's also getting later in the season. Maybe he's getting a little more banged up, right? You never know what's going on over there, but the run game doesn't look good either. They can't get anything going. James Conner has been struggling.
And they haven't been able to run all year, like really good. They had the odd game where they were. Yeah. But what people don't realize is that's, been going on all year. They've been kind of struggling.
100%. So. But they are going to Buffalo to play the Bills. So
you know who I got?
Going with the Bills?
Give me Allen, baby.
Trevor, we should just get rid of all that Patriots gear you got.
Not a chance.
And we're just going to it's pretty much the same colors.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's still blue and red and white.
Totally different blues, homie. Come on, get your shit together.
Lord Tundren. It's a shade of blue, right? So
Lord Tundren, Jesus. I don't know what kind of Kool-Aid your wife fed you before you get on here tonight, but Lord Tundren.
Straight A Pepsi right here. Not a sponsor, not yet.
Said nobody ever.
Be a sponsor here shortly for the From the Bench podcast.
Friggin' right, boy.
I'm gonna go with the Bills also. I just think I really like the way Allen's playing. I think they're really good. I think
explosive offense.
Yeah, I think they could do a little more on the run game too with Singletary and Moss. But I think they're good enough that they can win. Their defense is really good. You're on Tre'Davious White probably shadowing Juju most of this game. A couple other guys, but I'm gonna go with the Bills over the Steelers also. In the last game, this is the Monday night game, which also I just want to apologize to the Steelers also. They're having all these games. They're going to have like their schedule is so messed up because the Ravens couldn't get their shit together. Also, before we get to the Ravens, I guess we'll talk about this now. Des Bryant goes out before the game. He's out. They don't get a positive test for him twice, the day before the game. They take him off the field before the game starts. They take another test, apparently get result back super quick. Meanwhile, he's been warming up with all the guys. He's been literally hugging and talking to old teammates for the Cowboys. He's talking to everybody, like literally taking their guys from the NFL are posting that he's on the sideline hugging and, being around all these guys for the Dallas Cowboys organization. And they kicked the guy off the field before the game because apparently he tested positive for COVID, but he was just literally smooching and hugging and everything with all the guys from Dallas. This is just a proof that the NFL doesn't care about any of this shit. They're all about the stupid. They're all just about
about the business,
side of it. And like I said, they literally get the guys to take down the posts and the tweets and stuff and Instagram posts and stuff about it. But meanwhile, everyone's screenshot them at that point. But literally, guys like these guys, but nobody else was apparently could be affected, but except for Dez Bryant was, against the Cowboys. It's just an absolute shit show. Like, but what do? You can't reschedule the game again, right? So it's so stupid.
It's a little bit of a joke, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, how do you let him on the field or get dressed or around his teammates if you don't have a positive or negative like if you do not know if he's got it or not? That's what I'm saying. Like, how is he allowed? That doesn't even make sense.
No. And then they find out apparently he does, whether it was an actual positive or a false positive or whatever. Anyways, it's just so much, and it's just so stupid that you're like, you don't want to push this game back another day. You don't want to delay your TV rights, and you got all the crew there and everything else. You don't want to stop this, so you'll just push it back and sweep it underneath the rug. Like, it's just ridiculous. The Ravens, though, they're going to take on the Browns. Lamar Jackson is back for this game, and I'm going with the Browns. I think the Browns are for real.
As long as they run the ball.
Even last week, man, they were chucking it, and they were
true, but all set up by the run. Like,
are you going with the Browns or the Ravens?
I don't know. Like, I kind of want to lean on the Ravens here because they're 6-5. Give me the Ravens.
Ravens. Look at you go. Okay, so I'm going Browns. You're going Ravens. Well, man, we have a lot of teams different here. Like, we have 1, 2.
I feel like I gambled a lot this week, but
3,
I like it.
4, 5, 6, 7 games different. That's a lot of games, Trevor. That is almost half the games this week we have different. So we'll wait to see who wins. I'm already up 1-0, so it's probably gonna be me. But yeah, no, it's.
Keep drinking that Kool-Aid, homie.
I think it's gonna be a good week. If anybody else has any questions, make sure to check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Twitter. We're also
give
on
us
YouTube.
a like.
Exactly.
Give us a like.
Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. We're over on YouTube also. Give us a like and subscribe over there. I've been doing card openings and stuff, whether it's football cards or hockey cards. Actually, the other day, the girlfriend has always liked Pokemon. I played the games too over the years, and I opened up a couple packs of Pokemon cards, which I had no idea what I was doing, but I said, screw it. Try to get the girlfriend into it. Try to get her not hating that I'm spending money on other cards. So, yeah, open that. But yeah, go check it out. I said lots of stuff going on there. All these episodes are over on YouTube also. I'm going to try to add some stuff to the value there. Even this week, the way we're recording this, I have the Twitter handle and the Instagram handle there. Just trying to add a little bit more to this rather than it's just being a black screen up and above us. Just trying to see what we can do. But any criticism is good. Let us know on all the episodes what you think about them. And yeah, we'll go from there. So anything else you want to add, Trevor?
No, man.
Trevor just
we got her all out there.
Trevor just wants to get to bed.
Hell of an episode, Eric. Hell of an episode.
We flew through this one too. We're like under an hour and 15 minutes.
I know, and we had some good I like this episode. It was a good episode. We talked about a lot of shit. Got some NHL talk in there. I know it was brief, but it's still important.
If anybody has anything they want us to talk about, if there's like, hey, we want to hear what your guys' thoughts on are in this quarterback thing, or the receivers, or the rookies, or where this quarterback's going to end up in the off season, let us know what you think, and we'll see what we can figure out. So, but for now, this is going to be Eric and Trevor signing off, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys.
Keep your stick on the ice.
Bye, guys.